Welcome to Between the Lines, January 3rd, our very first BTL this year. I'm really excited to have my guest response artist for to start our first Sayang Sayang. Sayang Sayang means love, love. And instead of critiquing people in Between the Lines, we show support and love, for one another, for each poem that we share is a gift from our hearts to each other. And so I'm inviting some of my friends, and I might be asking some of you to be our primary response artists. So that way we get to hear a diversity of voices and responses. So welcome Unmesh Mohitkar from Pune, India, who is also host of his own show. Oh, I'm hearing clicking, clicking. Hold on. Please mute unless you are um, speaking and sharing. Thank you, thank you. And so, yes, I'll be picking on you, but today I'm picking on my friend Unmesh, who is one of my favorite hosts and has taught me so much about hospitality and what it means to make every poet, every artist feel seen. And so it is with great pleasure that I welcome Unmesh joining us, and he will share his set just before we close our show. I'm gonna pick on my one of my favorite starters, Richard Spisak. Welcome, Happy New Year. Would you care to share your set?
Happy New Year to you. It's so wonderful to see you all. Here's a little something on the theme of love, love, love. First, I offer you this Aphrodite on the internet half shell. On the internet half shell, partially emerged from the tiny text carvings, a mind illumed. Sweet thoughts, like berries on a hot summer afternoon, pressed to my mind's lips, staining in joy and wonder. Tiny characters bearing such weighted thoughts. Can I caress the brain who hears this electron ferried caring? Can I touch the fingertips with this typing as these words land so gently in your mind, floating like Monet's lilies in our newness? Rippling words, do this small service. Press your cool hand to her brow, trace her chin with this line, rest soft like feathers stroke her hand. Where mine might, were distance and timelessness real, or thought like lightning beyond space, the time I spend in your mind and I in yours, such atomic beginnings in the rumble of electronic typing's thunder. Thank you. And this called Bubble Up. It's about the enthusiasms of love, how it lifts us and transports. Bubble up. From a deep and silent place, I bubble up, rising from the royal blue to the goddess above. I bubble up. 1,000 artesian wells pouring forth from the silent earth. I bubble up. Reaching through the layers of sea, layers of warmth, layers of silent cool. I bubble up. Listening to the beloved call from the goddess in love, I bubble up. Rising from the valley to the peak, rising from the root to the tree, I bubble up. From the depths, rising from the earth to the air, I bubble up. Rising on a million bubbles of hope, bubbles of words of light, I bubble up. Rising from your toes to your feet, rising with swirling light, rising from your legs to your spine, I bubble up. Filling your arms, filling your neck, each hair extended, I bubble up. Rising through your spine in Kundalini time, I bubble up. Filling you from toe to fingertip with a billion bubbles of light, I bubble up. Your entire form charmed in light, your entire being in delight of star fire, I bubble up. Our light merging, our souls surging drifts to blue, bubble up. Showers of blue sapphires, iridescent puddles, seething galaxies of ecstasy, I bubble up.
All right. Thank you so much, Rick. All right. Bubbling up and taking on Sayang Sayang, love and love. Unmesh, what are your impressions of Rick's poems? Oh, Unmesh, if you can.
Wow, Rick, wow, that was beautiful. Loved both the poems and Bubble Up, I think it was wonderful. Means I really felt that one has to fall in love to understand bubbling up, right? You bubble up in air, you bubble up with love and hate makes you fall down. So yeah, that was wonderful. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, brother.
And Rick, I'm always so one of the most refreshing things about your pieces is that you put together images and words that are not common in our everyday minds, and you tickle our minds, and it's just delightful and rather effervescent.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful new year to you and your family. All right. Ravi has requested to go early. So, Ravi, where are you casting from today?
From Mysore.
How exciting! And for those who do not know where Mysore is and what the connection is to you, will you tell us?
Okay. I I am from India, uh, but I live in Malaysia mostly. Uh, what you see is me sitting in what used to be my study when I was working in Mysore in my family home. So this is Mysore, and I'm back here to visit my parents who are in their 90s and quite active. Uh, and I happened to accidentally visit the Singapore Poetry Festival where I uh, came across Kemlin. And when Kemlin's show was being aired, I stumbled into the program and I asked her if she would include me, and she graciously allowed me. From then on, I've been uh, fairly regular in the Tuesday readings. Uh, Unmesh too was kind enough to allow me to read, and then he keeps sending me invites, but unfortunately, my travels and my engagements have not allowed me to be a regular on his broadcast, for which I apologize to him profusely.
All right, Ravi, what have you prepared for us today?
Uh, there is a poem that I would like to share with you today, which is in keeping with the prompt that you had posted. Can I share screen, please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is a poem which talks about a river called Bhavani in the Nilgiri Hills, some 160 miles from where I live presently. This river takes birth deep in the mountains and flows down to the plains. Uh, it borders a very interesting, ecologically critical and interesting space called the Silent Valley, which stretches from Kerala down south to the Nilgiri Hills in Tamil Nadu. I have the distinction of having been allowed to trek 2 times through the valley, which takes about 3 days and a bit of PR with 2 forest departments, which is not very easy. But I did manage and had a lot of photographs from there, and a few poems. And this is one of those poems that I did 3-4 days ago for this event today. So here is the poem, A Reverie. By the banks of Bhavani, where the Nilgai roams, and the mists rise from the grassland, there is scant human presence, except those who poach for food and little profit. There in the shallow stream you may find a bullfrog in throes of passion, or an elephant in must trumpeting along the valley floor. Rare blossoms of blue kurunji hedge the track, while the macaque calls to its mate. Then the trudging feet stop, and one listens. By the banks of Bhavani, where buffaloes graze, and dawn mists like thick milk, and the pine needles carpet the earth, wild gauze in surprise stand wide-eyed. The sun, a heifer butting at the udders of the calf, springs up impetuously against a heavy sky. Among these hills, all ascending souls find their tryst. From their low doors the Toda emerge, their women singing at their daily chore, the men letting the sun warm their face. By the banks of Bhavani, the trail winds down where the hills end at Banki Tapal. Deep down the valley, where footfall is rare, Kuntipura sighs all day long. There roam the elephants calmly feeding, while the Kalenia trees are eager for the sky. The earth sighs densely, its breath rising gently wet and misty as the dawn broadens. Here the hunter and the prey walk in silence as the orchids blossom noiseless upon the trees. By the banks of Bhavani the campfire glows and he dreams of his home in the plains. Beyond the rolling hills of Gum and Sincona, where future is a dirty word, the present is an upended barrel of dust under a hot sun. The day stands still, massive like a gore. Its skin ripples like a wave of shock racing through the nerves end to end. He then murmurs a name never forgotten. That surfaces like a kink at unwary moments. By the banks of Bhavani, night sprinkles from the wing of fireflies as though the sky was a pointillist painting. Then the river's murmur is caught by the breeze, baptized with camphor and bread on mint. Only he sits there keeping a lone vigil, while at a distance a predator coughs. He draws his memories closer as he huddles, his eyelids grow heavy, and his head drops as Bhavani flows gently, its voice a whisper. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Yes. Kate says transported. I totally agree. And thank you for always reminding us that our world is a beautiful, intricate world. And your descriptions are so, full of senses. Unmesh.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ravi, it was amazing, man. So, you took me there. I was sitting there, I was watching elephants, frogs, the dawn, and the evenings, night. So I was with you there. I think that is wonderful. Means the skills which you have, right? the words which you use. So it just takes the reader there. And there are a lot of quotes as well over here, which are beautiful. Amazing. I remember Ravi, there is one more writer who writes in Marathi. His surname is Chitampalli as well. And I
Oh,
remember
yes,
cute
yes.
stories, and he writes stories about jungles. He
Yeah.
was working as a forest ranger. So he used to stay in jungles, and he has written many, around 20-25 books about jungle life. And I remembered him. So wonderful,
Okay.
amazing.
Thank you.
Unmesh, can you put that poet's name in the chat so that we
Sure,
can
sure.
track his poems? Oh, that's terrible. And I thought it was really fun listening to your poem. And when you brought up the words springs up, I kept thinking about Rick's bubbling poem. Oh, well done. Thank you so much for, and I do hope that I will be able to see Mysore. What a beautiful,
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
yeah, just fascinating part of this world that I haven't gotten to go to yet. So I look forward to it. All right. Next up, we have Finn Hall.
Hey. Hello. Hold on. Can you hear me? All right. Your screen sharing still on my screen, so it's
Ravi, can you take down screen share, please? Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
okay. Yeah, I got to do a couple of new ones, not as fresh and new as Ravi's one, like that. These were written between New Year, I think. And the first one's called Lucky. We are lucky, even though we don't feel lucky. The fact we are here, alive, living in whichever part of this planet we inhabit. Lucky, because our ancestors survived wars, slavery, earthquakes, storms, illness, and heaven knows what else the past had thrown at them. As we enter this next year, another tick in the calendar of life, hoping against hope that it may be upwards away from the past few years, hoping to survive, saying in the past, I will slow down, I will do less, but always end up doing more, like a role reversal, wanting to eat less with more on your plate. But you can't help to eat words as you enjoyed what you ate, and doing so, surviving, because to lie down means your descendants may not be lucky. The words we share, the words we are given to share, and the privilege of still being here, regardless of how you feel. The past enabled you to be you today, and you are part of someone else's past. And this one, actually, I wrote this one, put it online the other day, and my brother got a shock because he thought it was true, but it's not. So it's called The Orphan. I am now an orphan. You're never too old to be an orphan, but no one wants to be one. But one I am. I know there are no rules in the universe, just as there are no rules about grief. And at this moment, my soul has the flu. My mind has no idea what to do. There are no clues in life about how to be an orphan, just as there are no age limits to being one. How strange. When at this time of life you end up being the eldest, the senior, what once was called the head of the family. Strange feeling. Recalling when my father's mother died, he sighed and said, I am the eldest now. He said nothing else. I let that sink in. Notice Dollins, notice Dollins. When he passed some years after his mother, that thought still lingered, triggering memories still not applicable to me, kept for another day. That day is now, as now I am an orphan. Thank you.
No rules about grief. Thank you for sharing that those pieces, Finn. And so glad that you're here with us.
Shocking, come on, I mean, what happened there? But you know.
Unmesh.
Wow, Finn. Amazing, amazing. Means the first one, I think, lucky poem, right? I really understood what you wanted to say, and I always felt like that we are part of someone else's past, and in the future this will happen to our next new generations as well. So definitely yes, and you were able to reach with that message, which was brilliant. And orphan, I think that was a amazing, wonderful, touching poem. Means it took us around 2-3 minutes to digest, or that feeling to sink in, right, what you wanted to say. And we were with you there, and especially on such a topic of grief, of missing, right? I think that shows the power of the poetry. And these were very few lines. Those poems are very short poems, but beautifully written. I think wonderful. It was, I think it was like a masterclass. Thanks, Phil. Thanks.
Thank you
And
again.
my mum is still alive and quite well. Well, quite well. She's 92, so she's still going about anyway. So,
And Finn, what you shared captures the my concerns for the holidays. So for many, it's while everybody is feasting and celebrating, it's almost cruel sometimes to put the burden of expecting everyone to be able to plaster a smile. And so your poem, Orphan, really was something that I was that ethos, that concern for my friends, has permeated this Christmas particularly. And so I thank you for sharing that and reminding all of us that we have friends who are hurting. And even when we smile ourselves, we might actually also be grieving. So be gentle with yourselves and give each other space and ourselves space. And there's no pretense necessary. Thank you. Diane, would you like to go next?
Yes,
Anyway,
thank you.
I wanted to share something that I didn't write, but was written by a father and son. They wrote a book a, of poems to their wives. And when I saw Love, Love, right away I thought of this book because it's not often that you see a book where father and son have written love stories to their wives. It's called I Do, and it's written by father and son, A.D. Harris and C.D. McClendon. So I'm going to read one from each of them. And these are love stories to their wives. I thought that was kind of unique. All right, the first one. What is love? Love is the uplifting of a tormented soul. It is a strength of fulfillment within. It sets the mood for understanding the heart. Love is that which keeps us falling off the mountaintops. It tells us to behold the truth and refrain from the lies. It gives us the wisdom to live rather than letting life pass us by. Love is your warm touch on cold nights. It is finally growing into the man I could have been years ago. It is saying good morning to you each day that I wake. Love is the way we share stories about our past and talks of our future. Love is not you making me whole, but helping me to realize I have always been and did not see it because I let something block my sight. Love is you, love is us. And that was by A.D. Harris. The next one is called Sometimes. And Sometimes was written by C.D. McLennan. Sometimes I sit and daydream. Sometimes I sing. Sometimes I wander. And sometimes I walk for miles. But during it all, you are the one that's on my mind. Sometimes I sit and daydream. Sometimes I just want to cry. Sometimes I want to run away, and sometimes I want to hide. But through it all, you are who I want to come home to. Sometimes I sit and daydream. Sometimes I jump for joy. Sometimes I scream out loud. And sometimes I'm nowhere to be found. But through it all, you hold the key to the home where I long to be. Thank you. It's called I Do Every Day by A.D. Harris and C.D. McLennan. You can get it off from Marisa Prada. It is a red and green book, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Diane, would you put a link to red or green books, or the names of the books and the authors of these lovely, lovely poems? Thank you. How absolutely delicious. And you make recitation look so easy.
And I've got one poem for you, a very short one. I hope that's okay, right, Camlin? Yeah.
Absolutely. This is a call and response show. So, yes, Unmesh, go ahead.
It's called Allure of My Love. The ravishing trees, the alluring mountains, and your bewitching eyes looking intently at me. Oh, mountains, I ignore you. Trees, come back tomorrow. Allure of my love is calling me back from the land of the forgotten and forbidden. A dream, even for my dreams. A dream, even for my dreams. It was a short poem. Wonderful poems, Diane. Excellent. Loved it. Thanks. I heard it, I think, 2 weeks back. But the more I hear it, they are becoming better and better. Hopefully, my understanding is getting better, I think. Love is a complex subject, and you keep on evolving.
When I was in Brazil, I came across a poet songwriter who has passed, Kasia Eji, and one of the lines was, I am a poet who is learning how to love. and that would be something that I would say is my life. Is what is love, and how, as I learn more, how do I authentically live it out? And I thank each one of my artist friends for teaching me what that means. Thank you for that beautiful poem, Unmesh, Diane. Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely nights dreaming of a song. The nightingale sings its fairy tale of paradise where roses bloom. Though I dream in vain, in my heart you always will remain, my stardust melody. And then I'll let you guys finish Hoagie Carmichael. That's a tease for you. All right. The next person I would like to invite up is Li Ming. Li Ming, is such a joy to have you join us.
Kimlin, it's great to be here. And they were both written over the Christmas and New Year holidays, and I have actually posted them to Club Mermaid before. The Immaculate Macula. It all began with immaculation, a shriveled spot in my vision, the eve before Christmas Eve. Just the left eye, which I found sinister, but not enough to administer any ointment or other treatment. And so the spot grew larger, rounding itself into a half ring, a beautifully calligraphed C for Christmas. And there it hung all through Christmas Eve during my brief visit to the GP. No bleeding, 2 referrals, the feasting and the drinking and the carol singing. There, a persistent stigma, only a glimpse, an irritating glimmer. Always there, a windblown hair, seen from the corner of my eye. Wise friends came to advise me to embark on a journey following the inverse star that blot on my vision, making haste, as the shepherds did, not to a stable, but to the ophthalmologist's office, where detached retinas might find themselves again. Alas, the public health system had no room for me this season, and lying frozen in hospital A&E for hours just so a locum could see me, well, that prospect played second best to a turkey breast. So how could I then solve this riddle? Only by using cold hard cash to fiddle my way into a specialist room filled with an impending sense of doom on the 27th of December. After many a flash of light and a computer-generated rosy cross bent all across my visual field, as stars and halos spun before my dilated pupils, the doctor reached out to still my doubts that my macula was immaculate. And I was greatly relieved. Okay, now I'm going to go on to the second one, which I've also posted, but that was a New Year's poem, and it's called Gratitude. And you'll see why I have this image. This is actually 2 tankas stitched together, which I'm not sure is allowed, but that's the only way it works for me. New Year's light on leaves, seen through chiaroscuro lens, light and shade contrast in life as in nature's realm, thunderstorm before the calm. A single leaf floats on a stream of gratitude. We are clean, fed, safe, wrapped in the warm embraces of our friends and family. Thank you.
Thank you, Li Ming. Wow, so scary.
Yes, it was.
Is it?
Fortunately, everything is okay. So
Can see now.
I can still see the ring, but it's just the vitreous, so it's okay. My retina and lens are apparently like in my 20s and 30s, according to the doctor. But I will see the ring until my vitreous degenerates further and then it drops down. Apparently, this happens to all old people. Kemlyn, we are old people.
Ayo. Oh. So all the things that I think are visions might not be. Oh, and as far as what you can do to tanker and stuff like that, uh, play on, man. Rules are sometimes meant to be broken, and of course, you have people who are going to be jeering at you, but back to them. Unmesh.
Yeah, pain never kills you. The anticipation of pain kills you more. So I think the first poem was means I was able to connect with it. It always happens, right? There is something happens with you, especially with one of your body parts, and suddenly you feel that, okay, I'm gone now. What will happen with me? And the way you took it like a story, right? It was beautiful. Means we were able to understand the insecurity you felt. Initial, you just write, okay, it will be better after some time. That is what normally people think, right? And in the end, right, sense of relief, oh, there is nothing. So you're able to understand. And of course, the last two tankas were beautiful. Thanks a lot.
I also thought it was so clever how you wove the Christmas story into your parallel. Wow. So while I was really worried about you and your condition, I'm like, how come she's so funny and clever still? Can still make fun of this whole situation. So it's quite what a model that your sense of humor can carry you through such a stressful situation. And thank you for processing and sharing your thoughts and your craft with us, even through this intense stress.
Thank you, Camden. I think it was because the floater was the sea to me, so I was thinking, yeah, it's sea for Christmas.
Now, I would like to invite Kate Jenkinson. Kate.
Thank you, Camlyn. I've just loved, this is my first 2023 experience and nothing better. It's just soul filling. So thank you. I have a bittersweet view of love. And this first one is called Absence. If I said, I love you, the words would only be skin deep. When it's with my heart's beat, I love you. So deep, 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 I love you, that I can't sleep without something to remind me of you. This next one we might all relate to. For poets who are difficult to love. You are difficult to love because you have all the words for it. You can fashion an armor of words which describe love's intensity and passion, but love is not words. Love is the purest connection. It's the presence of yourself in the absence of another. Fill their hollows with hope. That is love. I work as a coach. This last one is about my work. The counsellor and the coach. We put our ears and hearts to work, our hands hold. We hear and balance the weight of emotion in every word you say. I hear the emotions you repeat. Hurt, hurt, hurt. I notice the needs you don't speak. Love, love, love. I hold the hurt words with love in my voice. Through my words you are seen and heard. Your words have been held in my heart. and you accept your soul's yearning with homecoming, welcoming arms that squeeze the tears from your eyes. Thank you.
Okay. Your 3 poems were so moving. Your last one, particularly, I felt I was oscillating back and forth between the caregiver and the one cared for. Thank you for reminding us whether officially we work as a counselor or a coach, that these are also qualities that you call upon and remind each one of us that we need to be. And in the world.
Nataraja.
Yeah, go ahead, Ravi.
Yeah.
Oh.
On the
Yeah.
phone.
Kate,
That was
love. Go ahead, Unmesh.
yeah, that was beautiful, Kate. I remember. I feel this was one of the famous Marathi writer. To love an artist is like loving a burning flame. Sometimes you feel the light, but sometimes you can get burnt as well. So loving a poet is not easy. Loving an artist is not easy. That was a wonderful poem. And I think you are a word player. I think this is a word. So you're able to put your emotions in very few words. Even the last poem, that was a very, very emotional poem, and I was able to see you holding hearts of other people near your chest, right? Caressing them. I was able to feel it. But it was a short poem, and that is where your skills lies, Kate. Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
May I say something?
Yes, Ravi.
The poem "Loving an Artist" is it raises a very important and critical question, that of authenticity, where the writer is concerned. How does the audience receive the artist? What is the veracity test that can be administered to the art? Now, the artist may not be able to answer that question at all, because the artist has only his medium, his or her medium, to connect through. If the medium is taken away from the artist sinks into oblivion or sinks into an ordinariness, where the artist's existence itself becomes jejune. So how does one react to this kind of a questioning? How does the artist relate to this questioning is a very important question. I do not know if Kate or a poet who comes after Kate can answer this question, but this question is a very significant question.
It is. It is.
And thank you
I'm
so much.
sure I've written about that somewhere. I'm going to go and think about that. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Kate. Justin, do you have something for us?
I was gonna name this down to a T, but yeah, it's alliteration, tangibly thankful for a thankless job. Here goes. Patience through the whining and crying to screaming, kicking, hitting, and baffling spells. and limitations and being unable to get the way. Wait. To the spectacular explosion of anger, frustration, and hissy fits, the melting down and lashing out. Stonewall. Then the insults, mockery, and barbed arrows. It takes two to tangle. Expressionless like a masked tanuki. Tantamount to a para against increasingly emboldened forays. Slightly grows thicker skin like stone, steel, sponge, rock, willow, absorb, sit, then tangle knot through the teasing to the bitter end. Thank you.
And of course, that's when you have love, we have people who aren't kind. And the effects of unkindness can damage. Beautifully captured. Thank you so much, Justin.
I felt this can be an anthem for office goers, okay? The bosses treating you the way you treat others and the way others treat you, the insecurity, the insults, the barbs sometimes. And after some time, you understand that you need to survive. There is no other way. You bend, as you said, right? You do many things just to survive. But I think this the poem really encompasses all the feelings when you enter into the office. And I was able to get into that place and feel it. It's so wonderful, Justin. Thank you.
Justin, I appreciated the alliteration that you packed into that poem. You picked a lot of percussive sounds that somehow I'm like, oh my goodness, the poem itself, the sound of it is hitting again, hitting, hitting, hitting. And I think that's the effect of when people tear us down. Hits us. Yes, like Kate said, I'd love to hear it again.
Okay.
Justin, would you
Is
read
there
it again?
time? Sure.
Justin is in office right now.
Sorry, boss. I'm reading poetry.
Tantalizing tangents. Tangibly thankful for a thankless job. Patience. Through the whining and crying, to the screaming, kicking, hitting, and breath-holding spells, the limitations and being unable to get the way. Wait. To the spectacular explosions of anger, frustration, and hissy fits, the melting down and lashing out. Stonewall. Thank the insults, mockery, and barbed arrows, it takes two to tangle. Expressionless like a masked tanuki. Tantamount to a pariah against increasingly emboldened forays, starkly grows thicker skin like stone, steel, sponge, rock, willow, absorb, sit, bend, tangle knot through the teasing to the bitter end.
Thank you, Justin. Just a reminder, we're inviting others to join us and respond to our work on Club Mermaid. So if you've recited or you have come up with more poems or thoughts to the theme, go ahead and put it under this week's posting, and the responses continue, because sometimes something strikes you a little bit later, and or like Kate said about Justin's work, we want to hear it again. If you feel comfortable sharing your pieces, you're welcome, always welcome to share your thoughts on that space. Clive Osman, happy 2023. Glad you're here.
Thank you, and to you. Okay, so obviously you all know me, and you know you're not expecting my response to be orthodox, and you're not going to be disappointed. Well, you are going to be disappointed because this is not orthodox. It's not an orthodox reaction to the theme, and it's not to be taken too seriously. It's it is what it is. So the theme is love, and I have to admit that is not something I've had much success with. They say write about what you know, so I'm pretty screwed, really. A lot of people try internet dating, but that's not for me. I can't pretend to be something I'm not to try to attract someone who would inevitably see the real me anyway. And aging, overweight ginger oddball with issues wouldn't really cut the mustard. So here's a poem from a typical man who uses dating sites when they're not really looking for love, but just a quick bit on the side. But this man has the same problem as me in that he feels he needs to be honest in his bio. And it's not about me at all, honest. It's called Internet Dating, or How Not to Look for Love. Dear Zeusk, I need your help. I'm desperate not to be left on the shelf. And it's all very well to play with yourself, but nookie is better for your mental health. Some say I'm a moose and a social recluse, and I know I tend to spit and slobber, and Quasimodo is considered hotter, but my wand has more magic than Harry Potter's. They say honesty is the best part, so I have to confess, I'm dying for a shag. Oh yes, I want love, or at least rumpy pumpy. I don't care if she's an absolute numpty, or a bit of a moaner and irredeemably grumpy, or permanently pissed on whiskey or cider. Having a pulse, that's the decider. But I never get a sniff, you see. They look at me with fear and then disappear when they cop a whiff of me. So I decided to try dating sites in search of lasting paradise. I wouldn't join Match.com though. Don't look so pensive. It's way too expensive, and you know what they say. There must be something wrong with you if you have to pay. And I've just been made bankrupt anyway. Instead, I pursued my wish by joining Plenty of Fish, and wowzers. Disco and piss-stained trousers, I got myself a date. Would it be the first of a spate? Would we even get to conjugate the need to masturbate? But no, she lied to me. She wasn't sexy miss in search of a nuclear scientist at all. I have to say, I was appalled. I could tolerate the moustache, but dishonesty bugs me. Why tell lies just because you're ugly? And yes, of course, I'm a nuclear scientist. I just don't like to boast about it. And anyway, I may like poetry, but nagging all the time may rhyme with what I crave, but it's not what I had in mind. Not with the liar, anyway. Dear Zeusk, fat ginger men get as lonely as hell. Applying nymphomaniac with a poor sense of smell. Thank you very much.
I feel sometimes performing humor is comparatively easy than writing humor. Writing a humorous poem, right? I think it is one of the most difficult job because you don't know how the audience will, how the readers will react, and the way you wrote it and then performed it, it was awesome. Means I really respect people who are able to make people laugh. And this was a poem with a lot of punchlines, continuous punchlines. It was like it was a stand-up, like a stand-up, okay, but it has depth as, because I felt that dating is a reality, and a lot of people are suffering because of that, and a lot of people are enjoying as well. You don't know on which side you are. It depends on the side which you are on, but that was amazing, wonderful, Clive, loved it.
Thank you.
So this is not a dating site, Clive. Yes. Why do we always...
Then you never know, someone will start an open mic dedicated to...
No. The funniest thing is we all say never date a poet, or never fall in love with a poet. But damn it, Poets, they know how to jerk your heartstrings and other
Some of
things.
them are just jerks.
I know, right? I was just thinking that. Soy, you got something for us or not?
Got.
Got. Okay.
Got. Okay.
Thanks, Clive.
So, okay. I'll start with what love is not. Love is not about to-do lists and completion thereof. Today's specials only, but the rest of the week is off. Lofty promises of a future when the present isn't in the picture. Considering what love is not. The second one is 2 commandments, and these are actually 2 haiku strung together. That's why when Li Ming wrote 2 tankers and strung them together, I said, yeah. Okay, so these are 2 haikus. Love God, love others, 2 commandments only, yet so hard to follow. Love God, love others, look up, yes, but look around. Does someone need help? One is long lost at sea. The miserable miser, able to aid his neighbor, avoided the latter with feverish fervor, deemed the neighbor the biggest loser, refused to offer any favor, neither liked the flavor he the other, ignored his neighbor with uncanny candor. Each kept to his own safety, no friendships to see it all, so don't bother. Long lost at sea is love your neighbor. Alas, the search is on with scant ardor. And then this one is about puppy love, if only I could. Love is in the air, the radio starts to blare. I beg to defer, I wish I could concur. Every day I trudge, but my heart feels to budge. I'm in a time warp, if only I could swap subjects and recess to be with my precious, to be his, nothing more, nothing less. Every day I trudge, but my heart feels to budge. I'm in a time warp, if only I could swap places with that girl, she who makes his lips, his brown eyes, just struggles. Every day I trudge, but my heart feels to budge. I'm in a time warp, if only I could swap drops with a DJ, change the songs he plays. I spin and I spin. It's a yucky feeling. Puppy love, they say, is never here to stay. It's viewed with disdain. The thought gives me migraine. Heart throbs with dull pain, because it's against the grain of dog's loyalty and my sincerity. Every day I trudge, but my heart feels to budge. I'm in a time warp, if only I could swap my brain for beauty, but beauty is flighty. I don't have the range to master any change. Love is in the air. The radio starts to blare. I'm in a time warp, if only I could stop. Okay, the last one is, and this is actually based on the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. Love takes. Love's a dove that waits, takes no breaks, takes heart, although the heart breaks. Love takes little from, much to the love, but gets. Love is not lovey-dovey, gooey-eyed. It's in the mundane. Love does turn Monday blues into blue skies in the loved one's eyes. Love lies not in wait to pile fault, nor keeps count of wrongs. Love lives out of troughs, the rough and tumbled, when the trudge gets tough. Love is the candle which gives out that glint of light in darkness. Love gives grace, forgives, forsakes not, gives all, takes little for self. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah lah, that's it lah.
Okay.
Ah.
Each segment was. I almost want to hear the haiku in the first one again. Oh. Can you read the first 2 again? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. What you want to hear, or the haiku?
Both. The first one. First 2.
Okay. What love is not. Love is not about to-do lists and completion thereof. Today's specials only, but the rest of the week is off. Lofty promises of a future when the present isn't in the picture, considering what love is not. The 2 haiku, right? 2 commandments, love God, love others. 2 commandments only, yet so hard to follow. Love God, love others. Look up, yes, but look around. Does someone need?
Thank you for reading those again. And thank you for your triptych.
Thank you.
Wow, Jennifer, it was like a sermon. Wonderful, wonderful minister. And different shades of love. That was beautiful, especially the last one. I loved that. The way you thought about love, right? And it's in the mundane. I think that was wonderful. And when we see, especially at our parents, right, they are so old but still in love with each other. So you understand that love is not on special occasions. Love is not limited to some special events, right? It has to be there in the mundane things, and that is all aspire. And yes, loved it, Jennifer. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. And the exposition in the contemporary commentary on 1 Corinthians 13 was really interesting for your third piece. So thank you, Jen. Always appreciate you sharing your pieces, your life, your faith, your thoughts. And of course, we had Smudge, Finn's cat, that was absolutely adorable. Did Smudge have a poem for us, Finn? Maybe he went cat chasing. All right. So, Unmesh, I'm going to do my poem since you're our guest. And then after I do my poem, you get to share yours. Okay. I picked this one because of the tankas and the haikus. So in homage to Japanese forms and thoughts, I've actually been watching a lot of anime and Demon Slayer. That's also for Lucian because you know his scar from his shingles. He looks like Demon Slayer now, Tanjiro. So I've been thinking a lot about love and what is unlovable. Wabi sabi, the Japanese art of honoring the beauty of decay. Her petal pink skin, once soft and supple, browns on the frills. Baby powder, fresh perfume, hints of rot. Once your nectar drew the kisses of bees and butterflies. Flies lay their eggs. Soon the larvae will feed upon your corpse. Obsessed with the joy of youth, hide the hints of senescence, shy your eyes from the hollows of a skull, plant flowers in cemeteries. Pretend they are parks to be visited by the filial on Memorial Day. Sugarcoat death so we can swallow it. Can't you see the radiant child standing in the cherry blossom yukata smiling? She's twinkling bright in the memory of Obasan's eyes. Quiet petals fall, powder pink snowflakes cascade, caress innocence. That's a haibun. Thank you. All right. Welcome, Dr. Molly.
Sorry, so sorry. Today was held up. I'm so sorry, but I'm happy I can see you.
Yes, so
Oh,
happy to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
sorry. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Dr. Molly, would you like to share a poem before our guest response artist, Unmesh, reads to us?
Yeah, I would. On New Year, I will just share a poem. Just give me a minute. I have posted, yeah, here's the poem, The New Year. Yeah. It was connected with Christmas. I just had penned it, welcoming the new year, to get everything renewed, to see that there is a kind of rebirth and resurgence of hope and promise. That was it. So here I am addressing the babe in the manger of the new year, coming with August, auspicious things that we lack. Get reborn again, O babe in the manger. Get reborn. How straddling these plains, these arid plains, where the soil is dried up, awaiting the moisture touch of love, care, kindness. Reborn in the interstices of our hearts. How our organic bondings with earth, relationships have been severed. May your innocence pervade, lighting up our hearts. That thing touch over our burns. Let the heavenly melody float in of cosmic love, toying out our self-seeking ice walls. Our self-seeking ice walls. May complacence set in with divine content. Joy and peace dwell in human hearts. Let our hearts grow, embracing all. Oh, babe in manger, the August New Year, get reborn again, enliven us. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you for your New Year's wishes, Dr. Molly. So happy to hear from you again, and so glad that you joined us. Yes, and Dr. Molly, I agree with
Thank
Kate.
you.
Always you read with such gusto and passion, and so glad you're here
Thank
and
you.
expounding on
Thank
love
you,
as
dear.
well.
My pleasure being with you all. My pleasure.
Dr. Molly, get reborn
Hi.
again. That was amazing. It was like
Thank
a
you.
line. It was like you can stand for the elections. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, thank you,
Lovely.
Unmesh.
Lovely.
Unmesh, thank you so much for being our guest response artist and poet today. Thank you for your generosity of comments, your willingness to listen to each one of our works and shower it with Sayang, love. Please take the stage.
Thanks a lot. Really scared to write a response poem for each and everyone. I was really scared, I'm telling you. So now I'm relieved it's done. I was counting number of poets. Okay. Okay, I will read a few poems, and nowadays I don't know why I'm writing long poems. So this is something which I started loving this poem. I don't know why, but here we go. It's called Bedbugs. Few of you might have heard it. Okay. My question today is, are you feeling itchy today? One of the greatest inventions of God is small microscopic bedbugs. They have everything which a guerrilla fighter needs. They hide in places you cannot even think of. In motels, five-star hotels, in your bed, or the chair you are sitting right now. They don't differentiate. Unlike human beings, they treat all human beings as equals, just a bag filled with red blood. Whole world is a pool of blood on their plate. Their battlefield is your bed. but they don't sleep on it. One should never sleep at work. They can be inside the crevices of your bed. In fact, they can hide on the walls just waiting for the nightfall. With me, when their enemy is asleep, they just suck the enemy's blood in method. They don't drink all the blood at once like a dumb bloody Dracula. They preserve the prey for the next day. They keep on sucking off their innocent, unaware, and ignorant prey. Their stealth can put the world's greatest secret service to shame. The difference is they never fail in their mission. They know power is in numbers. They are not only interested in their food, they reproduce like jungle fire. Just imagine drinking blood in the night and sex in the day. They reproduce such a they change the demography of the house. The house owner feels lonely. Thanks God they are not voters. The bedbugs will win a landslide victory. Human extinction might be triggered by bedbugs one day. Killing the bedbugs is declaring war against yourself. Finding Dracula was easy. Just go to his castle and fight, or he comes to your house uninvited. Here, the enemy's castle is your house. You destroy enemy's fort, you are destroying your house. The pest control people take the atomic route, take no prisoners. They just spray the smelly pesticide or the bedbug spray all over the house, turning the house upside down. It's like burning the jungle to kill a rabbit. It's still not a sure shot cure. A small mistake from them and the rise ashes like a phoenix to attack their enemy with of gusto. But my question is, are you feeling itchy today? First one.
Absolutely.
I hope I've got more time, Kamlin. One more, right? Okay. So what I will do is, maybe I will read something which I wrote in my mother tongue, Marathi, and I will just read it. And I have not translated it in English, so I will just translate at a high level. प्रश्न हा नव्हे की दोष माझा आहे की तुझा. प्रश्न हा आहे की निर्दोष कोण आहे. Question is not that whether I am guilty or you. The question is, who is it? The question is, who is innocent? प्रश्नांची उत्तरे घोर अरण्यात अस्त झाली. प्रश्नांची उत्तरे घोर अरण्यात अस्त झाली. दूर उगवणारा सूर्य बोलला निर्दोष कोण आहे. Answers to questions lost in the jungle. The sun rising from far away, asking, who is innocent? बहाने शब्दांचेच होते, तीर पुराने होते, लहुलुहान मी झालो, मी विचारतायत निर्दोष कोण आहे. Reasons were old, the arrows the same, bloody me, the killer asking, who is innocent? प्रेतांची यात्रा, माणसांचा जिवंतपणा निपचित पडला आहे. सरणावरचे प्रेत विचारतय निर्दोष कोण आहे. The dead body lying on the pyre, asking, who is innocent? शेत खाणाऱ्या कुंपणांचा बाजार झाला आहे. The compound is eating farm. The compound is eating farm. शेत खाणाऱ्या कुंपणाचा बाजार झाला आहे. भंगार स्वप्नांच्या शृंगाराग्न आहे नग्न जनता. Naked public is busy in watching cheap pleasures. कापडांच्या दुकानात नागडे विचारतायत निर्दोष कोण आहे. In the shop in the shop what do you say, ओके फाईन. स्वप्नातल्या अप्सरांना आता कसलेच भान नाही, कसलाच मान नाही. नरकातल्या सभ्य माणसांना आता कसलेच प्राण नाही. निर्दोष पाखरांच्या जल्लादांचा प्रश्न आहे, निर्दोष कोण आहे? पीपल किलिंग innocent birds are asking who is innocent. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for this opportunity. Kemlin, I think I loved each and every moment of this program. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
At this time, I want to invite everyone to unmute. And if there's anything you would like to say to Unmesh today, you're welcome to share your compliments and questions and comments to Unmesh.
Your piece on bed bugs was biting.
Yeah, it is biting. Actually, the bed bugs, that shows the kind of decadent world we are in. How you were just encapsulating the thing into a simple metaphor like bed bug, which you can never get rid of because it has become part of our lives and it has taken away the vitality of life. And this is a kind of what you call a vicious circle we are in, that you put forth so Unmesh, well composed, and as usual, very well uttered in all its emotive implications. Thank you. The second one also was more or less a self-reflexive, self-critical way of looking at life, contemporary life, and the events happening. So you're going more self-reflective and poking our responses that way. We have to ask questions to ourselves. Yes, it is itching, Unmesh. I am feeling that itch through your poems, It pokes me into the kind of horrid realities of contemporary.
Thank you, Dr.
Unmesh.
Malay.
Wonderful.
Yes, thank you.
I love the Bed Bugs poem. It was great. I've never thought to write a whole poem about bed bugs. I have mentioned bed bugs in a poem, but I've never written a whole poem about them. I thought that was really good.
Sounds like a challenge and a prompt.
Yeah, you've got a few days to come up with one before block 5.
I was completely absorbed, Unmesh, by the second poem and your live translation of it. I loved it. Thank you. And exactly what Dr. Molly said about the questions. Poets ask profound questions, don't they? Particularly Clive, I've noticed this, hides it in his humour, but it's there. And you've got that same sense of fun in your first poem as well. I loved that. It was really absorbing. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. What a joy to start the new year with each one of your voices. And even though it was not intentional, I'm glad that you all wrote and expounded on love. Or not. And once again, I want to thank our special guest, Unmesh Mohitkar. Please come back again, Unmesh. We appreciate you so very much. Round of applause for you. So, on behalf of Lucian, my parents, Juliet and TK, who actually wanted to join us, but they're in Thailand right now, so they send their greetings. Happy New Year to all of you. Remember, you are lovable, you are capable, you are valuable, and you are able to write marvelous things and share your hearts and speak truth. Make us laugh, make us wonder, make us question. May we find more questions to be answered or not in this coming year. Blessings to you all. Next week we have Matt coming, joining us. He will be letting me curate because Matt is not able to get up at this early hour because of medical reasons, but I will be bringing his poetry. He's a deaf poet. And a fantastic human being, and I cannot wait to share his work with you. And he will be our shok artist. So see you next week, and I'll be
Wow.
posting information on Club Mermaid. And don't forget to put yours too. Bye, everyone. Happy New Year.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Rick. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye, Jennifer.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.